So in my Gamilaroi language, I would introduce myself as follows. Yamagaran Nindali, Des Crump Naya, Murriduia, Durumbandidi, Gurragorla Gomeroi. So I said, hello to everyone. My name is Des Crump. I'm a Gamilaroi man and my family is from Durumbandi, a little place in southwest Queensland.
This is Professor Desmond Crum, an Indigenous languages expert at the University of Queensland. Crum didn't start learning Gamilaroi until he was 47 years old. His grandmother spoke Gamilaroi, but she did not pass it down to him.
Well, one of the biggest challenges is that a lot of languages that aren't spoken, particularly here in Queensland, there's less than 20 that are spoken on a regular basis. And so, for example, I'm working with a group out west, Gungri, which is the neighbouring language, and been supporting them for over 15 years. And in that time, we've had 3 of the main elders have passed. And so it means it's almost like losing a library because of all that knowledge that they hold. And it makes it very difficult when there's no fluent speakers.
Indigenous languages are endangered in Australia. Between the 1910s and 1970s, Aboriginal children were taken from their families and forced to reject their culture in what were called assimilation policies. White families adopt them, forbidding them from speaking their languages. These children are now called the Stolen Generation. Professor Felicity Mickens is a linguistic expert specializing in the Indigenous languages of this generation.
There are a lot of massacres at the hands of the British colonists. The older generations were punished for speaking their traditional language. They were derided for it, sometimes physically punished for it, and this meant that they often kept their language to themselves and the younger generations didn't hear them speaking it.
In this year's budget, the Australian government has promised to improve the lives of First Nations people, including a $3.6 million fund to digitise at-risk Indigenous languages.
We've got a very fabulous institute called the Australian Institute of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Studies. They have an enormous backlog of really valuable material that was recorded in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, which is really crucial to help people reclaim their languages so they can hear the elders speaking again.
But Professor Mickens said more can be done.
I work a lot in Northern Australia, particularly with a group called Gurindji. They were one of the first groups to regain their traditional lands in Australia in the land rights movement. Currently there are people who still speak Gurindji, but the younger generation tend to speak a language called Gurindji Creole. So we've been doing lots of things like making dictionaries and grammars, so not just for Gurindji, but also other languages to help make sure that the language is written down for future generations.
Meanwhile, Professor Crum, an endangered languages expert, Dr. Samantha Disbury, launched Australia's first Indigenous language revitalisation program.
We could slow it down.
Dr. Samantha Disbury is teaching her students how to record an Indigenous language. The program invites people from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander backgrounds to come together and learn their languages at the University of Queensland.
Because you did play with the back, you could change it.
Biduratharinga, Nadu Gari Susie Clapham, Nadu Murawari. My name is Susie Clapham and I'm a Murawari woman, and Murawari is a language group that is in the northwest of New South Wales and goes over the Queensland border.
Susie studies and speaks Murawari, an extinct language, but there are few recordings of her ancestors speaking Murawari.
Destroying something's easy, but to rebuild and really understand from scratch where you're going and to build a sense of belonging and shared experience is really difficult, and it's the journey that we're on.
Hello, my name is Fiona. I'm a Gomlaroi Inar. My language group is Gomlarai. Inar means woman, and I'm from northwestern New South Wales, southern Queensland.
Fiona wants to understand and interpret old language recordings and share them with the community.
The main thing is to come together, connect and meet other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are on the same journey as I am. It allows us to be vulnerable and honest with each other and share where we need to be built up with any type of learning or skills that we need for our language work.
Professor Crum says Non-Aboriginal communities can also play their part.
Non-Indigenous people have a very important role to play in that awareness, that support, being a good ally for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, communities and their languages, looking at opportunities to share and embrace that language, work with community to help document it.
While many of Australia's Indigenous languages are disappearing, there is hope that they can be brought back to life.